Between the square, dark, and mottled walls was the restless stench of blood. This was the Anyang City Third Prison. All the prisoners within its walls stay for life, not just 4 or 5 decades. It's the type of prison that most people will never be able to leave in their lifetime. In room 405, there sat a slender teenager clad in blue stripes on his bed, appearing tired and gloomy. His handsome face was certainly very attractive in this prison environment, but he seemed lost in his own thoughts, unable to comprehend his present state of existence. The fact that this prisoner arrived today was crucial. Before prisoner 7543, room 405 had never been occupied. And what was prisoner 7543 doing? He was cold-faced, ready to curse out the system in his mind. 618, you better give me a good explanation. You're claiming to be a super male god system, and this? This is the male god you choose? A 17-year-old murderer? This prisoner is, of course, Xiao Qingrong, the man who was chosen by a system to travel through space and time. 618 is in charge of the super male god system. It had chosen Xiao Qingrong from among the millions of people living in the galaxies. It made the decision to bind him because of his capacity for environmental adaptation and self-improvement. Host, I promise your body is a male god. His future achievements in science will make this world go crazy. As a super male god system, 618's task is to pick a host and travel through 3,000 worlds, letting his host become stronger and gain experience. Right now, Xiao Qingrong is personally worth 300,000 points, making 618 very satisfied. Even though he heard 618's word, Xiao Qingrong was still upset. He glanced at the environment around him and snorted. A scientist? Have you seen any scientists incarcerated? Do you believe that if I didn't take this body, this scientist would live past tonight? Along his way to his cell, from Area D to Area A, those around him in their cells were watching him like prey. To tell the truth, Xiao Qingrong was disgusted. In the past, he had used this gaze to look at others, but he'd never been on the receiving end. This body was only 17 years old. He was in his senior year. The reason he was even sent to prison was that he happened to be nearby when someone was murdered, seeming to be an accomplice. As a result, he was arrested without even knowing why. This body's family was poor, with only a little sister at home. So after the trial, he was sentenced to 2 years in prison and was shipped off to Anyang City Third Prison. You should note that, as a minor, he should have only gone to reform. Even if this body had committed a crime, it shouldn't have been enough to send it to Anyang Prison. The prisoners there are murderous and cold. Even if it was an adult, being sent there would still equal death. Host, calm down. 618 looked at his host's cold look and shivered. The system just received information about the host's new body and the knowledge that he was indeed set to die in this cell tonight. No, his host can't die. Now you know. How do you want to live here? I can either sell my soul or fight. In this small body, I'll definitely lose. Xiao Qingrong's voice was full of irony. This system was definitely useless. He was too timid. Except for chatting with him, it would be useless for everyone else. Before meeting the system, Xiao Qingrong was an orphan. He grew up in an orphanage. Xiao Qingrong fought to survive. Then, one day, his biological parents came to find him, saying he was the child of their large family. By that time, he was already 20. Knowing he couldn't really afford the love of his mother and father, he merely asked for 1,000,000 yuan. He started his own company with that money. By the time the system found him, he was already a billionaire. It was because Xiao Qingrong was boring that he agreed to sign a contract with poor System 618. Then he came to this body. 618 was unaware of Xiao Qingrong's disdain for it. A reference to the term, selling ass. It had to think long and hard about the words selling ass before it could respond. He had to look it up online and returned shaking. Host, I'd never let you sell your ass. Will taking a strength supplement help you? Cautiously, 618 tries to please his host. This was its first host, and it did not want to lose him. It did not want its host to give up on it. If it could, it would try its best. Pills? A medicine that will make me stronger? Upon hearing such a thing, Xiao Qingrong instantly spoke up, saying there couldn't possibly be such a thing. Xiao Qingrong can guarantee that he will be fine in this prison regardless of his body, but the pleas of his system made him wonder if it was even useful. The strength pill can be found in the Super Male God Mall. After consumption, it can increase the user's strength by 100. It could be said that anyone who ate it would immediately gain the strength of a Super Saiyan. Of course, the price isn't very high, just 500,000 points. Yes, host, it's a strength pill. You will not have to sell your asses. While 618 was preoccupied with his host selling asses, Xiao Qingrong was taken aback that he was just a little angry and made a little joke, and this silly system was still true. Okay, I won't sell my soul. If you give me a pill, will you be hurt or punished? Logic dictates that such a potent pill must be expensive. Or, at least, that's what Xiao Qingrong believes. Nothing in this world is free, everything must be paid for in return. No, the strength pill in the mall only costs 500,000 male god points. I'll see if I can get one through another system in secret. The mall does not give credit, and 618 isn't willing to have his host sell ass. So it planned to buy black goods from another system. How many points do I have now? Is it not enough? Xiao Qingrong knew this stupid system wasn't smart enough to lie. Even though he was just playing, he is still curious about this strength pill. The host currently has 300,000 points. It takes 1 million male god points to unlock them all yourself. Upon hearing this, Xiao Qingrong surmised that he must have been worth 30,000 male god points in a previous existence. At the time, he had assets worth roughly $10 billion. That was only worth 300,000 male god points, was it not? Xiao Qingrong was still unsure of the significance of these points. However, the value of these male god points can be learned slowly in the future. It is imperative now to see if this stupid 618 can help him. Is there anything else in the system mall? If I wanted you to buy me a scalpel, would you buy it for me? He was more inclined toward the precision of a scalpel than raw strength. Not to mention, this body still had use. Although it was weak, it would be enough to handle a knife well enough to let him rise to the top of this prison. 618, feeling obligated to help his host, dashed off to the mall to see if it could locate a scalpel for him. I can. A set of scalpels is only worth 10,000 male god points. Is the host aware of this? Its voice is excited and happy to help its host, just like a child's. For the low price of 10,000 points, Xiao Qingrong is satisfied. He lets 618 immediately buy it. By the time dinner rolls around, the war will have already started. He only needs a weapon to get through it all. Soon, the whole set of scalpels was purchased by 618 and placed on Xiao Qingrong's bedside. Whatever the system chooses to give, it must be of good quality. Shield the monitoring in this cell. On the order of Xiao Qingrong, 618 immediately blocked the monitor for this cell. It was not hard. Xiao Qingrong, who was sitting in his cell, picked up his scalpels and carefully opened the top to find a row of neat silver knives. Seeing those knives made his heart beat fast. Even in his own world, there were none alike. His research on scalpels went as deep as his bone marrow. Scalpels were different from ordinary knives. They were more slender and sharp than the average knife. In fact, for murderers, they are the perfect tool of destruction. Unfortunately, not many use them. The scalpel set provided by 618, each one a perfect silver, was like a work of art. They were arranged neatly from small to large, each one waiting to be used to its utmost potential in the hands of Xiao Qingrong. A perfect killing weapon. Picking out the smallest, he stuffed it into the pocket of his prison uniform and then asked, "The rest of these things, could you save them somehow?" After the words were finished, the scalpels that were placed on the bed all disappeared, as if they had never appeared before. "If needed, host, I would have offered first." 618 comes with a system space that can store a multitude of things for its host. Of course, these things are limited to items bought from the system mall. This time, Xiao Qingrong found his system to be very useful and even praised it for the first time. "It seems you're actually useful," 618. After hearing its host's praise, 618 was extremely happy. If it had a human body, it definitely would have run a few laps in joy. After 618 picked up the scalpels, the monitoring was resumed. As time went on, night finally rolled around, and the dinner bell was rung. An announcement echoed down the halls. "Attention, all district prisoners. All are to report to the canteen. You have a 30-minute limit." The broadcast sounded over and over again while the iron doors of the cells all automatically slid open. The lights from the doors being opened dazzled Xiao Qingrong for a brief moment. Naturally, he didn't naively believe it would be simple for him to get to the canteen because the light was quickly obscured by a shadow. The figure of a fat man with a knife scar across his face could be seen emerging from the shadow. A hungry light could be seen in the man's eyes as they landed on Xiao Qingrong. He appeared to desire to expose Xiao Qingrong's naked body and